Hello, everyone. Welcome to BRUNO'S MMA show. I am very happy to have with me today as a guest Mark Hunt, legendary MMA fighter and a man with a cause. Hello, Mark.
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me on the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. First of all, before we move on to the important stuff, I really have to ask you, which gloves were better? A lot of people say Pride, but you wore them. So which MMA gloves were the best?
Oh, it didn't really matter, to be honest. They were just all the same. They were just equipment for work, basically. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, very well. You know how we like to sort of like imagine, these gloves, these other ones, and go into detail.
I don't really.
Um,
It's not a thing of mine. I don't really care about gloves and anything. It doesn't really matter, to be honest.
very well. Okay, so let's get to the serious stuff, basically, because for many years now, you've been basically on a quest or a cause. I don't know what you would call it, but you've been fighting in the matter of fighters' pay and fighters' condition when it comes to organizations, because you can correct me if I'm wrong. The way I understand it is basically all the big companies, what they do is um, fighters are independent contractors, and that allows them to do certain things that normally an employer wouldn't be able to do. Is that correct?
Um, no. Fighters are subcontractors. They're not employees of the company yet. The company we're talking about is UFC. They own the fighter's image. They own everything about them. The fighter can't get sponsorships and all that. So why aren't they employees?
Mm-hmm.
The argument I have, I'm in two lawsuits against this company, and one of them is we're trying to bring the Ali Act in. The fighters only share a small percentage of the revenue. I think it's 4%. I think it's actually 12 of what they're sharing. They're still way below what they should be getting, and that's why I joined this cause with those guys. The other one is about performance enhancing cheaters and drug users that this company allows to compete. For me, it was upsetting. I worked for this company for a while, and I got upset about it, and it made my career end really bad. I got bitter. How they kept taking these guys that are cheating over the guy that wasn't cheating.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I went through three or four of them, and then I just got sick of it. They weren't doing anything about it. They weren't enforcing their rules and regulations. They based their policies, their cheating policies off WADA, of the World Anti-Doping, but yet they don't enforce them. UFC has not enforced their policies at all. I mean, I know that because I went through it a few times. The one time I went through it, it wasn't good. So that's my other lawsuit. So I'm in two against them. It has never been a fair fight against this company, against these other fighters. And the shit thing about it is that UFC don't do anything about it. Don't tell me you have the best testing policies when you don't enforce them. So that's the argument I'm having for the last couple of years with my lawsuits, and the other one is the Ali Act that I'm with.
So, for people watching who might not know what the Ali Act is, because this is something I started in boxing,
Muhammad Ali, yeah.
in a brief description, how would you describe it?
It shows transparency, how the company works, where the funds go from top to bottom. It gives the fighters a fair go, a sort of an even playing field of how much money they can get and what they should be getting. If you're a top fighter, you should be getting top money. I mean, you just look at the fighters from boxing and fighters from MMA, and there's totally difference in prize pay, totally.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's not going to change until something's done about it. Um, like I said, I worked for this company for a while, and was sick of always asking for more money.
Yeah. Do you think it's possible at some point, like I don't know, some crazy solution? Like, what if at some point there's this company that kind of comes along and says, like, look, there's a, I don't know, you guys are syndicated if you come aboard. Do you think that would be a solution, or is that something that
But
wouldn't
there's
really?
That's easy. It's easy resolution for both. For the steroid users, take away all their money, ban them for life. That's one solution. For the other side of the Ali Act, the fighters pay what they're supposed to pay. Let them share 40%. The basketballers and all that share around that percentage. Why are the fighters sharing only 12% of the revenue? Why, the company's not paying them what they're worth?
Yeah.
That's the way to fix this. Bring the Ali Act in, ban the steroid users, take off all their funds. Don't give them a cent. That's how easy it is. Or even worse. I mean, or even could be just like this. All the fighters are the fans that support the UFC. Don't watch them. Don't support them. You're not supporting the fighters, and all the fighters that work for the company just say, "I won't fight." There'll be no company if the fighters don't fight. It's simple.
To be honest, I find like there's a lot of resistance because I think there's this selfish side to fans where they kind of know, okay, if fighters have more say, maybe I think the fear that a lot of fans have when it comes to supporting these causes is, and I'm not saying I approve, but what I observe is they fear that it's kind of going to become like boxing, where sometimes you don't really see the fighters you really want to see go against each other. I don't think it would be like that because maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like MMA fighters, like they have a different mentality when it comes to these things. But what would you say to that, basically?
I don't think they have a different mentality. Fighters are fighters. It doesn't matter which fight sport it is. Like all I'm saying is all the people that's trying to poison them with these lies is the companies, the management of these fighters. They're trying to hide these things from, you know, educating the people about it. Guys like me, they said we need to shut this guy up. He's educating people about our shit business doings, about business dealings, and you can't tell me or say anything that I don't already know. I've been through it. Already. I was in there. I'm not one of those guys that say this from the outside. I say this because I've been through it all, and I'm just sharing my experience with it. Um, and it doesn't make a person happy, a fighter happy. I mean, that's just the way I see it. So I
Because
mean,
sorry,
yep.
go ahead.
No, no, go ahead.
Yeah. Because I think you touched upon that a bit earlier, but I just want to kind of highlight it. Part of it is also that fighters don't know what other fighters are getting paid. Is that it? So when it comes time to
That's
negotiate, they're kind of blind to
well. The
what they
thing
could
is,
ask.
they always keep that in the dark. They don't know what they're worth. That's the thing. They don't know what money they're worth. If you're beginning, you should get beginners pay. If you're the champion, you should get champion pay. You shouldn't be sharing all of you sharing 12% of the revenue. I mean, if you're a top fighter at the top end, you should be getting me paid accordingly. You shouldn't have to ask for more money like some of the UFC champs that we're seeing ask for them. We're seeing them ask for more money. I'm like, wait a minute, you're the fucking champ. How are you asking for more money? And that's the thing. I think it needs to be a group thing. Like everyone together, they need to do it. Not just they'll only need like 51% of the fighters to do it. The rest will have to follow.
Yeah.
And that's a third thing. I don't think they will all get together and do it. I think they're just their managers and that will just be telling them, oh, don't do this, this, that, and the other. But they're all fucking UFC paid.
Yeah,
So
that's something that I noticed that managers very often seem to be company man for the big fighting companies, which is weird because you're supposed to represent your athlete.
yeah, they're just crooks.
Uh,
That's the thing, though. You don't really need management, to be honest. You can manage your own stuff. If you know what you're doing, you can manage your own stuff. What does a manager do? All he does is just steal your shit. Oh.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people would be, if I imagine someone who, for example, has been sort of playing devil's advocate, even though I agree with you, but I can imagine maybe for some people, if all their lives they've been athletes, they've been training physically, maybe they're intimidated by the legal aspect of a contract, even though you can hire a lawyer just for that. And I agree with you, but I think it's kind
The
of also
devil's the well,
psychological.
look. If you're, that's what you've got to learn as a fighter. You've got to learn all the sides of the business. Fighting is not just in the ring and the octagon. It's fighting outside also. If you're not winning on the outside, you're not going to be fucking fighting well on the inside of the octagon because you're too busy worried about your shit getting stolen from you at the outside. So that's why it's good to get a good team to surround you, but you've got to know what's happening in your own business because you're actually in a business yourself.
Yeah, that's something that seems kind of weird because very often the fighting spirit is cheered on when it comes to the actual fight. But then I think when you for example I would say you show fighting spirit outside of the fights too, and it's kind of weird how I see some people sort of turn their backs on that where it should be encouraged that that's fighting spirit in all aspects of life when
Yeah,
it comes
that's
to
my
it.
thoughts. Yes,
Uh,
it's correct. It's a lifestyle. It's going to go not just fighting in the octagon, it goes through your whole life.
yeah. Listen, this is very timely, and it just occurred to me now as we were talking because you were talking about champions and the pay and what they deserve to get paid. And I just realized as we were talking, Henry Cejudo announced his retirement, but he did leave it open. He was very transparent, like, look, maybe if I get paid more. I think that was set out right.
Of
And
course, this isn't about him wanting to retire.
yeah,
This is him asking, I need more money. You guys aren't paying me what I'm due. I'm the champion here, and regardless what kind of excuses Dana and the rest of them say, he's still not getting his pay. They're all sharing 12%.